And yet, we don't know why. For we can be like children. Push on.
Once upon a time, in a land of town halls, sing-songs, and rhyme, lived a lesbian called Meline. For Meline, pure pleasure meant dripping, gloomy skies and hand-embroidered muumuus clearly sewn by the blind. Meline knew what she liked and could never have guessed that April 1st would bring a light in her life. They said she was too old to have a baby. Truth be told, she never wanted it. Once upon a time, Meline felt something foreign stir in her lower regions, longing, screeching. Perhaps it was the punch that caused her to grab that stranger's Camaro keys back at that party in '73 that caused Meline to reach for them like a virgin to a Greek god's hanky. A spermatic romance begins and ends in the blink of one eye. He got off and Meline happily got off of her feet. And in that bed, she lay to rest for the next 34 years, covered in bedsoils. With nowhere left to turn, Meline bolts upright. With a fright of flattened, creamless Twinkie still in hand, Meline gives birth to a bouncing little man.
You don't have to call me Bob Marley. Because see, what he says is what flows through me, and what flows through me flows out to you, and what flows to you makes us one crew. And crew, we drive the waves of internal waves, the external waves, and tidal waves, and we flood the earth. Because see, what we came and had since birth was a purpose. To rise beyond the surface, to look within. The search is within, the answers within, and we combine and blend and send words and send feel and send glow and send grow, and all of that has a purpose. In darkness perceiving the totality, and ripples hear the internal questions become those tidal waves of self-awareness. And my person loves going surfing. I open my thick vocal curtains, let truth perching on my words, play like Hendrix on your nerves till epiphanies emerge and let you know how absurd it is to believe that the creator is anything other than one's true being.
Would like to live under the impression of one God, one nation that has been passed down to generation. But brother, would you care to explain why I was stopped at the entrance of the club right under the sign of international guests? International guests. Am I not international enough for you? See, my shoes were made in Vietnam. My shirt in Mauritania. I can recite God Save the Queen gleefully like a cool Britannia. I'm a well-read academia. I know that ancient civilization started in Mesopotamia. And I do like pizza and pasta. I even can name pappardelle, tagliatelle, spaghetti, fettuccine, gnocchi, fusilli, even food taste of Silvio fucking Berlusconi. Wait a minute. Am I not international enough for you? Listen, sister. Would you care to explain why I was refused a table when I made a phone reservation in Indonesian and the answer given to my direction was, sorry, we're full booked tonight, sir. But when I made another caught in 30 minutes in a fancy American ball that I learned from Jay-Z, P. Diddy, even a Southern Texas hillbilly.
Of tomorrow. The whimsical wingings of hearts stepped on and trampled by the turned out tripwire of wanton leanings. Of learning, lesions on knees fallen fallow to concrete's curves and granted nepotisms. Wake me before I dream I die. Wake me before I dream again of love and leaning. Wake me in the pure morning mist dabbled with dew and the one sunshine beam that shines through. Here to warm the back like a lover in a spoon, dripped in melons and saccharine, nothing's noted daily. I can't let you go. Why can't you stay? I still wonder why. I can't let you go. Why can't you stay?
The most recent one, That Dead Man Dance, has won a number of awards in Australia. It's about first contact between Aboriginal people in the south coast of Western Australia, Noongar people, that's with whom I identify, that's my people, and British colonisers when the country was first grabbed. And in historical texts, historical books at home, Noongar people, like other Aboriginal people, are often portrayed as passive, primitive creatures. But what I saw when looking back at this history was something very different altogether. People with great agency and very postmodern, even though it was at the beginning of the 19th century. And while I was writing this novel, I'm also heavily involved in a community-based project at home in revitalising and regenerating ancient languages and stories at that part of the most ancient continent on the planet. And what I found in those old stories was something really different from what I read in the historical texts that are written, as history is, by the winners, was these really confident characters, confident protagonists. So in my novel, the central character is an Aboriginal boy who becomes a man, who is extremely confident. So that makes it resonate discordantly, I think, in the context of the so-called better known narrative.
Mai buru mai kame torang sampanga mi mô lao ta chi mô lao ta chích môn đa la mô si sang ai yeah, yeah. Sing please sang ai yeah.
There are 5 suicides in your family. That's why, in the book, Legends of the Suicide. From the research I've heard of, when you have even one suicide in your family, you have more tendency to do it yourself as opposed to families with no records of suicide. And how does that affect you?
Well, I had a sense of doom about this for 22 years, where I felt like I would hit a low point in my life and suicide would just be waiting for me and it would be nothing I could do. It would just overwhelm me. But at 22 years into that, I had a sailing business and I lost everything and I failed and I had nothing to look forward to, and I really hit that low point. And after about 3 days of it, I realized that I hadn't had a single thought about suicide, that my brain just doesn't go there. And so I felt free from that. So I actually think that we're not doomed by legacies and that we do have second chances in life and such. But once someone commits suicide in a family, it does open the possibility. I think it's possible for people's thoughts to go there after, and so I think people are more at risk after, but not doomed. And I want everyone to know that. Like, you're not, just because it happened in your family doesn't mean you have to do it too. Like, I think that part's a myth.
And you choose to write about it.
Yeah. It's interesting writing about the effects of a suicide. It's the same for everyone all over the world. I've been in 20 countries with my books doing tours, and everyone I meet affected by a suicide went through the very same things, of the initial shame, the sense of guilt that there was something they could have done to prevent it, the sense of doom, like maybe now they would be doomed in some way, the anger, like really like incredible rage about it. Everyone goes through the same thing. So it was interesting writing about it and then feeling connections with people all over the world as I go to different countries and finding out their experience was the same as mine. When I had the experience, I thought it was just me. I didn't know that this is what everyone goes through.
To meditation and just say goodbye to confusion. Take your attention to meditation and just say goodbye to confusion. Let's say go, let's say goodbye to confusion. Let's say go, let's say goodbye to confusion. Hey, you take it, you talk it, you walk it, you take it, you take it, you talk it, you take it too much, you take it too much, you take it, you talk it, you walk it, you take it, you talk it, you take it too much, you take it too much. Every time you complain you get. Every time you blame, the blame you get. I believe it's a thought we keep thinking, sister, brother, let it go. Oh, let it go. This door is closed, another is open. So why? Hey, my sister. Hey, you take it, you talk it, you walk it, you take it, you take it, you talk it, you shake it too much, you take it too much, you take it, you talk it, you walk it, you take it, you take it. You keep telling everybody your story, your sad story.